Hi. Aesop's fables were stories written over 2,000 years ago in ancient Greece, and they're classified as fictional tales that were meant to illuminate truth. Aesop often personified animals, using certain animals to represent certain kinds of persons' characteristics and habits, and what that might mean for their fate. Some animals, such as the sheep, the wolf, and the sheepdog, made repeat appearances in the fables because of their distinct characteristics. Fairly recently, the analogy of the sheep, the dog, and the wolf have been expounded upon to represent the dynamics found in both combat and in policing. You may have heard it referenced in the movie American Sniper, or you may have even read about it, the sheepdog, in the Dave Grossman book about the psychology of combat. The way Grossman described it, most of the people in our society are sheep. They're kind, gentle, productive creatures who can only hurt one another by accident or as a result of extreme provocation. Now, I know that sometimes the sheep analogy is used to describe people who follow someone or something blindly, but in this case, it refers more to the average person who goes about their day without thinking or worrying about violence. The wolves in this analogy are those who prey on the sheep without conscience or mercy. They're violent and aggressive, and they don't care about the consequences of their actions, and they're incapable of empathy. Basically, your average sociopath. They pick the weakest sheep in the weakest moments, and then they attack. Because they often lurk in the shadows, the sheep may even forget that they're there. They don't want to remember that they're there. But we know that there's no safety in denial. And that's where the sheepdog comes in. Yes, this is you. A sheepdog's always got the wolves on his radar. To protect the sheepdog combines the greatest strengths of both sheep and wolf. They're capable of great empathy and compassion, and they're capable of significant aggression and violence, but they use these forces to protect others. And you would think that this would give the sheep peace, but to them, they just see the resemblance between the sheepdog and the wolf. Sharp teeth and capacity for violence, and they aren't quite clear about the distinction. And just the presence of the sheepdog reminds the sheep that they're not safe from wolves, so they'd rather not even see them. Until, of course, the wolf comes. Then they know the difference, and then they know whom to hide behind. So the sheep live their lives pretending the wolf will never come, so they can feel safe, but the sheepdog, ever vigilant by nature, can never escape the reality that no sheep is ever completely safe, and that the responsibility of protection falls on them. Did you know that a sheepdog will swim through floodwaters to save sheep from drowning? True story. Quite a big difference between being a sheep and a sheepdog. I'm a huge fan of analogies in general, and I employ them quite often when I'm trying to help someone see something in a new light. They're tremendously valuable, and I have great respect for this one, and I absolutely understand its intended meaning. And yet at the end of it, and no surprise here I'm sure, I'm left thinking, but what about the sheepdogs? You know, a sheepdog by definition is a dog trained to guard and herd sheep. There are 70 different breeds of dogs that are considered herding breeds and 50 breeds that are classified as livestock guardian breeds. Shepherds and collies and corgis and rottweilers and mastiffs, they make great sheepdogs. And they also make great family members. It's incredible how well they apply their training and how they're just born with the ability and the instinct to be fierce protectors. But in terms of their care and well-being, they're no different than labs or retrievers or bulldogs. They need food, water, and shelter to survive, as in the minimum requirement for staying alive. But to thrive, they also need physical care and positive mental stimulation and nurturing. So the analogy of the sheep, the wolf, and the sheepdog does a great job of highlighting the elite nature of the sheepdog and the incredible job they do as protectors and guardians, and the lack of acknowledgement or appreciation from the sheep. But in between the lines, we also see that this means that these elite guardians are habitually putting themselves last. Their courage to act is instinctive. They don't contemplate what it may cost them if they dive into floodwaters to save a drowning flock. They just do it. And it's not contingent upon the care they get in return. They perform the same whether they get minimal care or exceptional care. But it doesn't mean that they don't need or deserve the same care as labs and retrievers whose toughest job is to lay by the fire in a safe home, wag their tails, and be cute. And you know that I, of course, would argue that they deserve more care and specialized care. Selflessness is an admirable and honorable quality, but it's not to be confused with martyrdom. You cannot give what you don't have, and you need to actively take a role in your self-preservation. You have not only the right, but it's your need for a balanced life. It's not going to work now, is it? My point is that you can't put this off until retirement, because if you do, you may never get there. You need to be putting time into your mental health care now and prioritizing your wellness and your happiness now. The sheep aren't going to say, you know what, let us take care of you for a change. And they certainly aren't going to say, hey, thanks anyway, but we're good, we can watch ourselves. And even if they did, we wouldn't trust them anyway. With mental health, we cannot trade now for later. We can't just tell ourselves we'll deal with things down the road. They do not stay the same. And if you don't prioritize your mental health care now, you wouldn't want to trade it for what it will be later. I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm trying to do right by you and give you the respect of being accurate and direct and telling you what I know. Because it's not just enough to get by. Don't allow yourself to believe that it's your job to settle for less or that your needs have to take a back seat. It's your job to take care of those in need, and you cannot be excluded from this. Now, I don't expect you to suddenly know how to nurture your needs or even know where there's room for improvement or how to go about it. That's my job. I just need you to do these 3 things. 1, believe that you deserve the health and happiness that everyone else enjoys. 2, trust me that you cannot stay okay if you don't put work into offsetting the effects of this job. And 3, plan to spend some time with me and see for yourself that I know what I'm talking about. One of my favorite parts of being here is hearing you guys say things like, it actually helps to talk to you, or I really am sleeping better now, or one of my favorites, this actually wasn't weird like I thought it would be. You know who you are. So just a reminder, you're guaranteed complete confidentiality with me. I'm here for you and you alone. You don't have to come to my office, although it's quite nice here. I will meet you where you're comfortable. I don't have set hours, and I don't have limited hours. You can pick a time ahead of time or see if I can see you at the last minute. I will meet you in person. I'll Zoom. I will FaceTime. Phone is fine. Email, text. And if you've been coming to see me for a while and you've seen a difference in your life, please consider being willing to tell your buddies. You don't have to tell them why, but let them know that it helps so they too can begin enjoying more peace in their lives. It's almost Christmas. It's time for giving gifts. And you've been a gift to so many people. It's time to give yourself the gift of taking care of you, and I'm here to help. Because you and you and you and you. Hey, I'm talking to you. You are worth it. Be well.